Brace yourself here. What they're talking about is potentially seeing Hey everyone, welcome to the Big Dane podcast. I'm your host, Dana Trimborn, and this podcast is a random hodgepodge of topics that gets released on every Tuesday on, your preferred platform, of course. And I really enjoy sharing my personal stories and making those connections with you guys and just really being relatable, all in a fun and silly environment. Hey friends, have you been thinking about how 2022 will be different with dining, eating, drinking, and really what to expect? Stick around. I have 10 interesting things I do want to share with you and find out what type of spirit beverages we can expect. All right? So, I do want to note that I was reading a couple different articles and, what this year will really look like when we're going out to eat. Maybe we're getting takeout, what kind of foods and just general things, we want to be mindful of going on in the food industry. So a lot of these things that I'm going to be sharing with you came from Food and Wine, Martha Stewart, and Eating Well. Okay, so do want to put that out there. I'm not just babbling off here things, but did get this information from reputable sources. Okay, so one to start off with, there's going to be that private and personal dining, of course. We have definitely seen this go on throughout the pandemic. Everyone wants to feel safe, but it's definitely going to continue, but then also have just more personal dining experiences. So, and I will say, like, off and on, I would see some kind of classes that you could take maybe at a local restaurant, or just something fun to do that's food related that can really get you more excited about maybe cooking or, open your mind to something new that you want to try out, with your friends and family, that you can kind of take away. So, and I know here in Conchi, I have seen pasta making classes happen. I actually attended one. Yeah. And it was so much fun. It involved making raviolis, homemade raviolis, and it was so delicious. And yeah, we also made homemade pasta, so that was a lot of fun as well. And I think what was nice, just overall, it's like, okay, well, this place is literally a couple streets over. It's somewhere local. It's a restaurant that I trust. It's one of my favorite restaurants, and oh my gosh. So at the time, it was still Cerdo, but now it has changed over to Bar Sarah. And all of the Pieri restaurants are just wonderful. But this one did have the pasta making class. So it's interesting, when I was reading all about, these dining experiences, I was like, wow, I've done this. I haven't seen, what they're going to be doing this year, but I'm sure they're going to have things planned and, making sure like you feel safe and comfortable because, yeah, I mean, newsflash, pandemic isn't over. So all of this private dining is going to stick around and really have that comfort for people when they go out, especially with people and kids, if they just want to be away from other people, if if there's like a commotion going on because maybe your baby is crying or who knows. But then they feel, I would think, a little bit more comfortable in that sense. So options there. And some of the experience as well, like not just pasta making, but they were talking about they're going to have one-on-one experiences with chefs and sommeliers. So I thought that was pretty unique because you don't really see that offered. At least I haven't really seen anything like that specifically. But I have seen, which I was reading about, just having chef collaborations. So that I will say, like every now and then I will see that locally here, which is pretty cool. Because it just makes it that more personable when you're going out and, you order your meal, you sit down and it comes out and you almost wonder like, wow, like who made this, or like what's this chef like? And you start to have all these questions or that may come up. And so I think that's a cool and unique idea that if restaurants are going to do that, I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. Because you're not just eating, you're experiencing it, okay? So, I mean, that's definitely something that you're going to have a wonderful memory over the years. So, cheers to that. Second on the list here, I have vegetables. Yeah, do you know why? Because they're getting so jealous of the meats. So they're going to try to become more of the center of attention. Yeah, because honestly, when you think about it, when you go out, how many times have you gone out and the veggies are kind of just like on the side, like there's not very many of them. It's almost like it's a garnish, right? But you're like kind of eating it. Should I eat it? I don't know. And then you don't really eat it at all. So it's like, well, what's the point of buying this dish? And then there's like 2 veggies. Like, what's that about? So this is going to be changing a bit because, yeah, the chefs are going to try to get more inspiration with the veggies and just have more people, just getting more people excited about eating veggies because they're good for you. I mean, come on. So that I'll be on the lookout. I'm just hoping it's vegetables that I'll be able to eat with my stomach. You know me, my stomach can't do those cruciferous vegetables. So we'll see. And I'm interested to see if there's any maybe new vegetable that, is resurfacing or anything like that. So I'm curious. Another one on here that, especially ties in with vegetables is just local ingredients. I mean, this is huge, and I think more and more people do want to know, well, where am I getting my food from? Where is this coming from? Is this locally? Is it coming from California? Like, is it, coming from out of the country? Like, who knows? And I think knowing that your food is coming from a local source is amazing because it's helping the environment. You're not, having it shipped in from how many states away. So a lot of factors in here, right? And I have been seeing this again with this same group of restaurants around here, because they have a farm now and they're trying and have like all of their, I don't know if it's all, but they have many of their local ingredients at their farm now that they will use in their restaurants. I mean, that's awesome. I love it. I really love it. And it just kind of brings, another sense of community together with people and relate on it. I mean, that's what this podcast is about. It's about relating, right? Relating to topics. So we want to relate to our food together and see, oh, like, where did you get this from? Oh, I got this, at this local farmer's market or wherever. And then you start to understand and, well, where else is this person, getting their food from? And, maybe if you want to be a part of it, well, how do you be a part of it? It just kind of goes on and on and on. So very cool there. Love it. Another thing here, which I thought, is it? But they're talking about more seeds. More seeds. They're like, all right, we're replacing the nuts. We've had enough of the almonds. Like, okay, we are done with you. But we will be seeing more sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. I mean, if you think about all the nut butters, I definitely have tried the sun butter. Yeah, it's pretty good. If you haven't tried it, I'd say give it a try. If you're looking just for something different other than, peanut butter, almond butter. There's just so many butters. But, yeah, so I thought that was a little bit different. I'm wondering, like, where else, like, how else it'll be incorporated, like maybe salads. I feel like I've seen it a lot on like crusty breads, so I mean that would be really good. Yeah, maybe like vegetables, like roasted vegetables maybe. Getting hungry. but yeah, look out for it. Look out for the seeds. We'll see what happens to the almonds. They're gonna disappear off the shelves and be replaced with sunflower seeds, so watch out. Okay, brace yourself here. What they're talking about is potentially seeing potato milk. Potato milk. I know, like, what other milk is coming our way? What's after potato milk, right? I mean, what kind of potatoes are we saying here? Are we thinking red baby bliss? Sweet potato? I mean, I don't know. But very interesting. When I was reading all of this and I was scrolling down and I got to there, I thought, holy shit, what is going on here? And why haven't we done this before? But I'm also wondering, how is this going to taste? Is this going to have like a slight like raw potato taste? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you've ever tried just like a raw little piece of potato, or you check it in the oven because you're roasting potatoes, so it's not quite done, you eat it, it's like, it's a little raw, so it has that potatoey taste. I don't know. What's the texture gonna be like? Lots of questions here, and I'm curious. And how much is this gonna cost? Because you've seen like so many of the other non-dairy milk beverages, if we want to call it that. And some could be pretty high. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what kind of price they're putting on this. But the pluses to this, what I was reading, is that it is non-dairy, because I know a lot of people, they are trying to watch their dairy intake, or, they have a problem with dairy. So lots of things here, right? It's allergen free. Okay. And cheap to produce. So again, we're helping the environment here. So watch out. Okay. Another one on here is heritage ingredients. And I'm like, heritage, okay, like what are we saying? What does this look like? So we're basically gonna try to rediscover what our ancestors were eating. Kind of like we're going back to the basics here, you know what I'm saying? The grains, the beans, the legumes. I mean, this all pretty much ties back to plant-based meals that it seems like many people are turning to these days and trying to eat less meat. So that totally makes sense and kind of aligns there. It's just kind of interesting because it seems that, we have these things, but I guess maybe, we will see maybe some other grains that we haven't seen yet. So that's another look out there. We'll see what the local grocery stores have for us. All right, we're breaking because I want to tell you about my new coffee membership tiers that I'm offering to you amazing listeners. Yes, essentially a place for all exclusive content that will not be on my Instagram and Facebook. These tiers are going to offer you from sneak peeks of the next episode, uncut audio clips that won't be on the regular episodes, so we've got some juicy content there, and merch discounts. And that's just the beginning of this all, right? So check it out for yourself. You can go and find these 3 tiers when you click on my link tree in my Instagram bio at the Big Dane Podcast. Boom, click on that, and I'm making super easy for you because it's the first one on there, the coffee cup icon. See which one fits you the best. One other thing here, and it's about helping the environment, my friends. So environmentally conscious eating, I know. So again, we're talking less meat, more plants, which of course leads to a better carbon footprint because, at the end of the day, I don't want it to be sunny and 75 on my birthday, which is February 1st. You know what I'm saying? I think you get the idea here. So a lot of people, I think, we are trying to be better at this and understand, like, okay, well, how is this impacting the environment? Like, I'm eating this. Well, how is this really impacting the environment? We don't really stop to think, but I think that we should start to think about these things because, this weird, odd weather is, not just happening because it's happening for a reason. So, and I think the more that we think about it together, we will influence one another. So if one person knows is starting to be more environmentally conscious about eating, they're going to want to share that with you and makes you think, like, what should I be doing, right? And it just kind of goes from one person to the next. Before you know it's a domino effect. But truly, it's definitely something I would want to think about more, and the way that I'm buying food and consuming food. And I'm going to be honest, there's been times where we've even wasted food, and I hate wasting food. I hate it. But sometimes it just happens. So I think, do want to be better at that. I think a lot of us can relate to that with wasting food. You're buying too much, or, maybe you're not planning properly with your meals. And now you're tired of eating chicken parm for 3 days and you don't know what to do with it. Right? So, but remember, we got that freezer. So don't be afraid to freeze your leftovers. We do that a lot. But during that time in between, I think we really need to think about just making smaller meals and not so much at once. But I think we all know too, a lot of these recipes serves for 6. And I'm like, well, there's 2 of us, and so sometimes it is hard. Like if you're buying ground meat or, ground chicken or ground turkey, that it comes, in at least a pound. You don't really see anything smaller than that, really. So it kind of goes both ways, how we buy it in the supermarket and everything like that. But yeah, definitely makes you think a bit. Am I right? Okay, so this one is kind of fun, but Functional bubbles. Where are my seltzer people at? Yeah, non-alcoholic seltzer. Yeah. We are obsessed with seltzer. It just helps. It's just better. Okay. Well, let me say this. I like it better than water because it just spices it up a bit better, right? You got your plain water. I'm drinking it all day. And then at night, I want a little flavor. I want some seltzer. But this year, what we're going to see is other ingredients that are going to be included in these bubbles, like probiotics. But, I would say really read the nutrition label there, because you never know what else they're putting there, and maybe it's not good for you, but just an FYI. And speaking about non-alcoholics, this is what I was talking about, the spirits. Lots of non-alcoholic spirits is what seems to be what the young people are trying to do here, which some of it surprises me, but a part of me doesn't. But the article that I was reading in Martha Stewart was noting that there's this micro trend of, I'm using air quotes here, natural, in the natural wine industry called piquettes. And so what this is, it's naturally has that spritzy feel, the bubbles, and the wine that's created with the leftover pomace from winemaking. And so because of that, it has a lower ABV than typical glass of wine. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I still need to process a bit more. I'm wondering, I guess you still, well, I don't know. I'm just wondering, how much do the wine and spirits around here have that section? Is there a specific section for it? Low ABV? I don't know. But now I'm curious. I want to look for it to see, is it there? Is it not there? And why now? Is my question. Why now? And is it cheaper because it's left over from winemaking? I don't know. Got a lot of questions, my friends. The last thing on here is a fruit. They're talking about the yuzu. Guys, it looks like a lemon. If you look it up, it looks like a lemon. I was like, oh, this is a lemon. Is this a trick question? Nope. It is not a trick question. It is a tart sour tangerine. All right. But it's mainly cultivated in parts of Asia. So, naturally we wouldn't see it around here unless they're shipping it and importing it all the way from Asia. But I feel like that'd be obviously expensive to do. So I don't know if they're trying to do it locally or if they are, eating up those costs there. But now I'm curious to try it. How tart is tart. I like tart. I like the sour. I also don't want to be biting into a lemon or very, very tart. I need a tart scale. Am I right? What's the gauge on this? Can you imagine if you picked up a fruit or maybe at the store, how they have some little infographics that have this kind of tomato is for cooking and this kind of tomato is for appetizers and salads. Don't you think they would have something like that for fruits, for the yuzu? This compared to a lemon to a lime is this tart, You would think. Maybe I'll suggest it. I'll keep you posted, right? But so many things. these were the 10 things that I wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you look out for what I'll be looking out for this year in dining, getting our private dining and dining experiences, and maybe, trying to rediscover what our ancestors ate, okay? And to top it off with a yuzu. Yeah. How great. How great. I think now that I'm really thinking about it, what if they did like a yuzu, no pun intended, tart, like a dessert? Oh my God. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, my friends. Well, again, hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next week. All right. Peace. Okay, friends, be sure to listen on your preferred platform. Go to my Instagram or Facebook at the Big Dane Podcast and tap on the link tree within my account to find your favorite way to listen. If you truly enjoyed it, stay on the link tree and tap on leave a review. And you'll notice this link tree has other exciting areas to check out, like the coffee memberships that I spoke about with all exclusive content. A merch section is there because, yes, I have merch waiting for you. And of course, feel free to contact me with any feedback or other topics of interest, which you'll see is the last section of the Linktree platform. All right, see you next week.